Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to see how we can integrate Apache Pulsar in our Spring Boot application. So this video is divided into three parts. The first part is going to cover the basic of Apache Pulsar, what it is, what are its key features and all those things. The second part is going to discuss how you can install the Apache Pulsar. We are going to use the Docker to install the Apache Pulsar. And then finally, how we can integrate this Apache Pulsar in our Spring Boot application. So everything we are going to discuss in this video. So let's get started for that. Let's go to the first part. Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about Apache Pulsar. What is Apache Pulsar? What are its key features? How Apache Pulsar is designed? What its architecture is? What are the main components of Apache Pulsar? And what is the use case of Apache Pulsar? Everything we are going to discuss here first, and then we'll see how we can install the Apache Pulsar on our Windows machine using Docker. And then finally we'll try to create a Spring Boot application where we'll try to develop a producer and consumer. And using Apache Pulsar, we are going to see how we can try to have a connection between producer and consumer. Like producer will try to send some messages and then the same message will be consumed by the consumer using Apache Pulsar. So this is what we are going to discuss here in this video. This is what we are going to develop here in this video. So let's get started for that. And let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about Apache Pulsar first. So Apache Pulsar is a distributed open source messaging and streaming platform designed for the high throughput and low latency workload. So as it is suggesting that it is a distributed open source messaging and streaming platform. So Apache Pulsar is nothing but it is a messaging and streaming platform, and it is distributed in nature and it is open source. So Apache Pulsar is a kind of tool like Kafka, RabbitMQ or ActiveMQ. Okay, so it is nothing but it is a distributed open source messaging and streaming platform. This is designed for the high throughput, low latency workload. It was originally developed at Yahoo and is now an Apache Software Foundation top level project. Pulsar architecture and its features make it suitable for both real-time and batch data processing application. So it also helps you developing the real-time and batch data application. So this is the brief introduction of Apache Pulsar. Now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about its key features. So key features of Apache Pulsar are, so the first one is multi-tenancy. What does it mean? Okay, so let me try to describe you that. Pulsar support multi-tenancy out of the box, allowing multiple independent application or user to share the same Pulsar cluster securely and efficiently. So this is what multi-tenancy means. It, like Apache Pulsar, allows multiple independent application or the users to share the same Pulsar cluster securely and efficiently, which is out-of-box features of Apache Pulsar. Now the second feature is scalability. Pulsar is designed to handle high message volume and can scale horizontally across many servers. It can handle millions of the messages per second with low latency. Okay, so this is the second feature. Now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about others like durability and geo-replication. So coming to the durability, messages in the Pulsar are stored durably, ensuring that data is not lost in the case of server failure. Pulsar uses Apache Bookkeeper for persistent storage, providing strong consistency and durability guarantee. Okay. Now the next feature is geo-replication. Pulsar supports built-in geo-replication, allowing data to be replicated across multiple geographically distributed data centers. So when you were discussing about the Pulsar, you can see that Apache Pulsar is a distributed open source messaging and streaming platform. So it is a distributed platform. So that is what we are discussing here for the geo-replication. Pulsar supports built-in geo-replication, allowing data to be replicated across multiple geographically distributed data centers. This ensures high availability and disaster recovery. Coming to the next feature, which is native Kubernetes support. Pulsar provides a native support for Kubernetes, making it easier to deploy and manage in cloud-native environment. Okay, coming to the next, rich client library. Pulsar offers client library for various programming languages like Java, Python, Go, and C++, enabling easy integration with different application stacks. Coming to the next feature, which is admin API and tools. Pulsar includes a robust set of administrative APIs and tools for managing cluster, topics, subscription, and others resources. So it provides a lot of features that can help you checking the Apache Pulsar APIs and managing your cluster, topics, and subscription and other resources. So these are the features of Apache Pulsar. Coming to the next slide, here is the architecture. So Pulsar architecture is composed of three main components. So briefly, we are going to discuss about the architecture of Apache Pulsar. Its three main components, what it is and how it works. Okay, so the three main components of Apache Pulsar is broker, bookies, and zookeeper. Pulsar broker handles incoming messages from producer and dispatch messages to the consumer. So this is the work of broker. It try to handle incoming messages from the producer and dispatch the messages to consumer. They manage the routing of messages and maintain metadata about topics and subscription. So when we are going to develop our application, you will come to know about the topic and subscription. Those things we'll try to discuss there. So this is what the broker is. It's try to handle the incoming messages from the producer and dispatch messages to the consumer. They manage the routing of the messages also and maintain metadata about the topics and subscription. Coming to the next component of Apache Pulsar is bookies. Bookies are the storage nodes in a Pulsar cluster, part of Apache Bookkeeper. They store message data and are responsible for ensuring durability and consistency. Now the next component is zookeeper. Pulsar uses Apache Zookeeper for cluster coordination and metadata management. Zookeeper ensures that broker and bookies are aware of each other's state and handle tasks such as leader election. So these are the main component of Apache Pulsar. And now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about the use cases. So the Pulsar is suitable for a wide range of use cases, including real-time analytics, event sourcing, data pipeline, and messaging system. So if you want to have a real-time analytics, so processing and analyzing a stream of data in the real time for insight and decision making, this can be done by the Apache Pulsar. Even the event sourcing can be done by the Apache Pulsar, like capturing changes to an application state as a sequence of event. So this, if you are going to develop a real-time application that involves real-time analytics, event sourcing, you can use Apache Pulsar there. In the event sourcing, if you wanted to enable the capturing changes to an application state as a sequence of event, you can use Apache Pulsar. Coming to the next use case, which is data pipelines. Ingesting and processing data from the various sources before routing it to the different destination can be done using Apache Pulsar. Coming to the next use case, which is messaging system. Building robust and scalable messaging system for communication between the microservices or distributed application can be done by the Apache Pulsar, and this is what we are going to develop here in this video. Now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about the conclusion of Apache Pulsar. So in conclusion, we can say that Apache Pulsar is a powerful and flexible messaging and streaming platform that combines the benefit of messaging, message queuing, and stream processing. Its features like multi-tenancy, geo-replication, and strong durability make it compelling choice for modern data-driven application. Whether you are building a real-time analytic pipeline, a microservice communication backbone, or distributed event processing, Pulsar provides the tools and capabilities needed to support this use case efficiently. So this is about the Apache Pulsar. We discussed about Apache Pulsar, its features, and architecture, and then its use cases. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video we are going to see how we can install the Apache Pulsar on our Windows machine, and then we are going to use Docker there to install it out. So that is what we are going to do in the next video, and then after that, once the installation is done perfectly, we are going to develop a Spring Boot application. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks. Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to discuss how we can install the Apache Pulsar on our Docker. So I'm using Windows machine and I'm using Windows 11. I already have installed the Docker desktop on my machine. So what you can do is you can also install the Docker desktop on your machine, and then using the Docker desktop, we can install the Apache Pulsar on top of it. So how we can install the Apache Pulsar, that is what we are going to discuss here. In the previous video, we discussed about the Apache Pulsar, its key features, its use cases, its architecture, everything we discussed in the previous video. And here we are going to discuss about its installation. So let me try to come out of it and go to the browser. And here you can search for this Apache Pulsar Docker Compose file, and if you go down, you will find this Apache Pulsar website. You can go it and you will find this Docker Compose file already here. So I'm just directly going to copy it out, and what you can do is you can create your folder where you can try to create a Docker compose.yaml file and put this code that we copied from them. So that already I have did, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it out and then try to create it newly. So I deleted it out. Just what you have to do is you have to create a file. So let me try to open this notepad here and paste the command that we copied from the Apache Pulsar. So what I did is I went here and then just simply copied this compose.yml file from Apache Pulsar. Copy this out. I open a notepad and then I just paste it here. Now I'm going to save it, and just let's say you can create your folder where you want to store it. So I created this Pulsar folder, and here you can do is you can just go there and then name it like Docker-compose, and make sure you are saving it in the YAML format. So if you go down, you will find this YAML and then just save it out, and you're good. Now you already have the file here. Now what you can do is you can open a command prompt at this place, and then simply what you have to do is you have to run this command, which is Docker compose up. But before going to run this out, make sure that your Docker desktop is locally up and running. So I'm just going to open up my Docker desktop, and then after that we can run this command. So just wait for that. So you can see my Docker desktop is up and running, and as of now I don't have any container with the name Pulsar. And if you go to the images, I have the Pulsar images. So I already have installed the Pulsar on my machine, so that is why it is there. If you are doing it for the first time, it will take few seconds, or you can say a few minutes of your time to install these images first, and then like to pull these images first and then try to create a container and then try to run it out. So if you're doing it for the first time, it will take few minutes of your time. So what I'm going to do is I already have the Docker compose file, and I opened the command from there. Now you have to run this command Docker compose up. Just enter it out, and then you can see network Pulsar is created and container Zookeeper is created. So those resources are start creating, and you can see container Pulsar init, Bookie, broker, everything is created here, and it will take few minutes, you can say, or like if you're doing for the first time, it will take few minutes of your time. And if you're like not doing for the first time, like how I am doing, so it will take few seconds of your time to make it up and running. So go to the Docker desktop, and if you go to the container, you will find a new container created here, which is Pulsar.
And if you'll go inside it, you can see that we have the zookeeper, we have the pulsar init, broker, and bookie. The pulsar init is not running. The zookeeper, broker, and bookie is running, and you can see the broker is up on the port number 6S50. So we have to use this port in order to access our Apache Pulsar. So remember that this is the port that we are going to use in our project. So this is how you can install the this is how you can install the Apache Pulsar on your Windows machine using Docker Desktop. This is about the video, guys. In the next video, I'm going to precisely develop a Spring Boot application and then try to develop the producer and consumer, and using this zookeeper, using this Apache Pulsar, we are going to send the messages from producer and try to consume it by the consumer. Okay, so this is about the installation video of the Apache Pulsar, and this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks. Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to see how we can implement Apache Pulsar in our Spring Boot application. So what we are going to do is, we are going to create a Spring Boot application. There we'll try to create producer and consumer, and using the Apache Pulsar, we are going to send the message between producer and consumer. Like the producer is going to send the message and the consumer is going to consume the same message which is sent by the producer. So this is what we are going to develop here. In the previous two videos, we already have discussed what is Apache Pulsar, its features, its architecture, and its use cases. And then we also see how we can install the Apache Pulsar on our Windows machine using Docker Desktop. So everything we discussed. Now in this video, we are directly going to create a Spring Boot application and then start implementing the Apache Pulsar in it. So let's get started for that, and let me try to come out of it and go to IntelliJ. So here I'm using IntelliJ Ultimate version. So what I can do is that directly I can create this Spring Boot application here itself. So go to the file, new project, and then just give your project name. So let's say it is Apache Pulsar Spring Boot. Okay. Now just select Maven here, go next, and you have to include a couple of starter dependencies like Lombok and Web. And then for Apache Pulsar, just search for the Apache Pulsar, and here you can see there's a two variant of Apache Pulsar, which is Spring for Apache Pulsar and is Spring for Apache Pulsar Reactive. So we have to select this first one and then create your application. Open it in a new tab and just wait for a few seconds. So once it is done, what we can do is we can start doing our development here. So just wait for a few seconds. It will try to download the dependency that you added and resolve it out. It will also try to fix your indexes, and everything will run. Then we can start doing the development here. I think it is good. Now go to the source, main, and Java, and here you can see your application is there. Now let me try to do one thing. First of all, let me try to change the port number of this application. Let me change it to the server.port. I'm just going to point it to the 8085. And why I'm doing so, I will let you know. So just run this application and then try to see if it is up and running or not. If it is working properly, then we can start doing the development here. So you can see our application is up on the port number 8085 locally. So it is good. Now what we have to do is, we have to create the producer, we have to create the consumer, and the producer is going to send some message and the consumer is going to consume that message. But how is it possible? So there comes the picture of Apache Pulsar. So we have to create, we have to use Apache Pulsar to send the message between producer and consumer. And for that, we have to do some necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So for that, I'm going to create application.yml file first. So just create this file, application.yml, and here we have to do the necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So for that, what I'm going to do is, I have to define the service URL of Apache Pulsar, producer, topic and consumer topic and the subscription name. Everything we have to define here. So before going to do the configuration for the Apache Pulsar here in application.yml file, let me try to make our Apache Pulsar up and running. Okay, so how we can make our Apache Pulsar up and running? In the previous video, I already have discussed how you can install the Apache Pulsar on your Docker machine, right? So the same way we have to if you want to make it up and running, what you have to do is you have to go to this folder where you keep your Docker Compose file related to the Apache Pulsar, and then just simply do a Docker Compose up. So just let me try to do. Okay, so before going to run this, let me try to start my Docker desktop. So just search for the Docker desktop and it will start in few seconds. So first of all, the Docker desktop should be started, and then you have to run this Docker Compose file command. Okay, so the Docker desktop is starting for us, and now we have to run this Docker Compose up command where you have the Docker Compose file for Apache Pulsar. Okay, so just open the command from there and then run this command Docker Compose up. It will take few seconds of your time, and it will start creating the container for your Zookeeper, Pulsar init, and other things that is required like Bookie and Broker. Everything is going to be created in a container and start running once you will run this command. Okay, so I think it is working fine. Now let me try to minimize it out and go to this Docker desktop, and here you can see one container is created with the name Pulsar, and as of now the 2 instance is running. Let me try to go to this Pulsar, and here you can see the Zookeeper is running, Apache init is not running, Bookie is running, and Broker is running. And if you'll go to this Broker, you will find that this is the URL where Apache Pulsar Broker is running, which is locally it is running on the port number 6650. And if you'll go down, you'll find that there is another port which is occupied by this Broker, which is 8080, and that is why I changed my port number of our application to 8085 so that it won't conflict there. Okay, so we are good. Our Apache Pulsar is up and running on Docker machine, and now we can start doing our development. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do the necessary configuration related to the Apache Pulsar. So that is why we created this application.yml file. Here what we have to do is we have to do the configuration for service URL of Apache Pulsar, and then we have to also point out the topics where the producer is going to produce the message, and the topic where the consumer is going to consume the message, and also subscription. So everything we have to configure here. Now let me start doing the necessary configuration here related to the Apache Pulsar. So what we have to do as a configuration here is we have to provide the service URL, we have to provide the topic of the producer and the topic of consumer and the subscription name as well. So those configuration we have to do here. Let me start doing those configuration here. So it is Pulsar, and then let's say, let me try to remove this. I'm doing my custom configuration here. So it is Pulsar, and then let's say service URL, and the service URL is something like it would be Pulsar, and then the place where your Pulsar is up and running locally. So if you go to this Docker desktop, you'll find that your Broker is up and running on the port number 6650 locally. So that is what we have to provide here in the service URL. So it would be like Pulsar, and then /localhost 6650. Okay, and we are good. Now what we have to do is we have to create the topic under the producer. So we first of all we have to configure the producer here, and then we have to configure the topic for that, and the topic for this producer will be something like topic, and give the topic name. Let's say it is my topic, and after that what we have to do is we have to do the configuration for consumer. So let's say it is consumer, and then we also have to define the topic for consumer. So the same topic I'm going to keep here for the producer and consumer, because at this topic the producer is going to produce the message, and the same topic is being used by the consumer to consume the message. So we have to be consistent for the topic, at least for producer and consumer. Like the same topic is being utilized by the producer to send the message, and the consumer can only consume the messages from that particular topic where the producer has produced the messages. So the thing that you have to keep in mind. Now let me try to also configure the subscription name. So let's say it is subscription name, and let's say it is something like my subscription. And then we are good. Why we are getting this? Let me try to. So let me slightly check this out why we are getting this error. So we are using this service URL, and then okay, we are good now, and we have the producer topic, consumer topic, and the subscription name. Everything look good now. So we did the necessary configuration. What we did here is we configured the service URL where our broker is locally up and running, which is the port number 6650. And we also configured our topic under the producer, and the same topic I am going to use for the consumer as well. And then we also define the subscription name for the consumer. Okay, so it would be not this, it would be subscription name. So we are good. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create the producer first, and then consumer, and then we'll try to create a controller where we'll try to create one API that will use the producer method to produce the message, and then we'll see how the consumer is reacting to that produced message, if the consumer is able to consume it out or not. So for that, let me try to create let's say producer class. So it would be like producer service, and we are good. Now let me annotate this with @service annotation. And what else we have to do is we have to use couple of Pulsar related things to send the message over the topic that we created using the producer. Okay, so we are going to use this one thing which is producer template, and this producer template has the method called send, and we are going to use that to send the message over the topic that we created. So for that, let me try to first of all auto-var the producer template here. So let's say it is private producer template. Sorry, it would be Pulsar template, not producer template. Sorry. Yeah, it is Pulsar template. And we auto-wired it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a method called, let's say, public void send message. And here what we are going to do is we are going to send the message that we want to send over the topic. So we are good. Now what we have to do is we have to call the pulsar.send method, and inside that we have to send the message. Now if you go to this send method of the Pulsar, you will find different variant of it. So if you'll go down, you will find that this is the method that we need to use. We are going to use this send method, and here you can see it is asking for this two arguments. One is the topic and the second one is the message that you want to send over the topic. So here we are only sending this message directly, right? If you go to this service, we are only sending the message, but this is not the way. How the consumer will come to know that from which topic I have to consume the message. So we have to send our message on the particular topic. Okay, so for that, let me try to create a variable called, sorry, I do not need to auto-var. Let me try to create a variable called the string topic, and we have to get the topic from the application.yml file. So if you go there to the application.yml file, you will find that topic is under this pulsar.producer.topic. So that is what we have to get the value from. So use this @value notation and try to provide the path where your topic is under the producer. So it is pulsar.producer.topic. So it would automatically fetch the topic name from here, and the same topic we are going to use to send our message. So we have to pass this topic here as well, and we are good. So this is what we have to do. And now there is a way, like you can directly send this message in the form of a string, or what you can do is if you are going to send the message in the form of a string, here you have to go to this application.yml configuration, and you have to also configure the schema type. Okay, so you have to configure that schema type in if you want to send the message in the form of a string or the list, or let's say you want to send the message in the form of DTO. So you have to configure that thing here in the schema type, but we are not configuring it out. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to send this message in the form of byte array. So let me try to convert it to the byte array. So just use this method get byte, and we are good. So this is how we are going to send the message over a topic using Pulsar. Okay, now we are good. Now let me try to create the consumer here. So let's say it is consumer service. And annotate this with @service annotation. And then we are directly going to create a method that will try to consume the message produced on the topic by the producer. So for that, let me try to create one method called consume. So it is public void consume, and we have to pass the message here that producer has produced. So producer has produced the message in the form of byte array, right? So let me try to pass this message here as a argument of this method, and let me remove this, and we are going to consume this message. Okay, so we are doing nothing. We are simply trying to convert this byte array into the string, and then we'll simply try to print it out. So just create a string message equal to new string. Let's say it is MSG. So we converted our byte array message that we received from the producer over the topic that it has produced, and then we are converting into the string and then simply printing it out. So let's say received message is something like that. Okay, so we are good. Now how we are going to listen to the message, how we are going to consume the message which is produced by the producer over the topic. So in that case, we are going to use this annotation called Pulsar listener, and that annotation will help us in listening to the message that is being produced by the producer over a topic. So I'm just going to use this annotation called Pulsar listener, and here you have to provide the necessary things like the topic's name and the subscription name, so that Pulsar consumer is aware that this is the topic where the producer has produced the message. So it will go to that particular topic, it will listen to the message, and then it will try to print out that message here. So we have to provide this topic and the subscription name. So let me try to provide it out here. So let's say it is topic, and directly we can access it using this value annotation. So we are going to use that. So what you can do is you can directly pass the things here, like it would be dollar, and then here you have to pass the path of that topic. So it is something like pulsar dot, what it is, if you go to the application.yml file, you'll find it out. So it is pulsar dot consumer dot topic and then subscription name. So go to it, go to the consumer, pulsar dot consumer dot topic, and this is our topic. And for the subscription name, what we have to do is we have to point out to this subscription name, and we are good. So what this method is doing, it is doing nothing. Using this pulsar listener, it is listening to this topic and this subscription. Whichever message is produced on this topic, it is going to listen to that message and just print it out. That is what the listener is doing. That is what this consumer is doing. Now we have the producer, which is sending the message or which is producing the message over a particular topic, and from the same topic we are going to consume the message here using pulsar listener. Now let me try to create one controller here. So let's say it is pulsar controller, and annotate this with @REST controller, and then let me auto wire the producer service here. So just use auto wire private producer service, producer service. And then what we are going to do is we are going to create a, let's say, get mapping, and it is something like we are going to send the message. So it is, let's say, send, and whatever message we are going to send, we are going to send it in the form of request parameter. So let's say public string send message, and we are going to use @request param. Let's say string send message, and then what we are going to do is we are going to use this producer service and call this send method of the producer service, and in that we are going to simply pass the message that we want to send and then return it out. So if we'll go to this send message, let me go there, it is not there. What is the name? If we'll go to the producer service, we'll find this name is send message, not only send. So just call this method and we are good. If you'll go to this method again, you will find that it is not returning anything. So let me simply return something here, like message is being produced, message is being sent, or you can say produced, and then simply return it out. So let me try to brief you the whole flow. What is happening here is we created this API and we are sending the message as a request parameter to this API. We are calling the send message method of the producer service, and here we have the topic over which we are trying to send the message in the form of byte array. Now once the message is being sent over the topic, it is automatically going to the consumer service, and with the help of this @pulsar listener, it is listening to that particular topic and it is getting the message which is produced by that producer over that particular topic, and then it is printing out that message. So that is what it is doing here, and this is the whole flow. Now let me try to run this application and try to hit the API that we developed. So if we'll go to the pulsar controller and let it run, then we can start hitting out this API. So you can either use Postman to hit this API. I'm directly going to use this terminal provided by this IntelliJ. So with that, I'm going to hit this API. So you can see the things are loading here, and you can see our topic is there, our subscription is there, everything is looking good. You can go and just check out these logs. You will get the more understanding of the Pulsar, how it is interacted with the Spring Boot and how it is working. So our application is up on the port number 8085. Now we are good. Just click on it and you will find a terminal opened here with the API, and then whatever message you want to produce, just produce it out. So let's say it is, I'm going to produce the message called hello Pulsar, and then send it. And then here you can see we are getting the response, and you can see that the status is 200, which is okay, and you can see this message is being produced. If you'll go to the controller, you will find that this is what we are returning from here. Message is being produced after calling the send message method. So our message is being produced. Now how we can see if it is being consumed by the consumer or not? So if you'll go to the consumer service, you will find that you are printing out this thing, received messages, and then the message. So go to this console and you will find the things here. So you can see that we are printing out this thing, which is received messages, and the message that we sent is being received here, which is hello Pulsar. So this is how you can develop your producer and consumer, or this is how you can try to send the message using Apache Pulsar with the help of producer and consumer model. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.